Hello? How is everyone doing? I'm assuming that we're connected. And then Titan Luca, if you're here, yeah, I think that you're totally right. I did make a mistake with the writing, but it should be good. Okay, so there we go. I see that we're live now, so I want to let everyone else know. Okay, so I thought that I would just get people involved in the stream because I've always wanted to do a mapping stream, but I've been doing projects and other things that are really expansive, and it would be basically spoiling what I had planned. So this time it's pretty fun because this is like a public sort of situation. Oh, hi HPR. Yes, it isn't Project Millennium. Thank you for the $5. Worth mentioning, Project Millennium is still ongoing. There's games that are being hosted every weekend thanks to HPR and all the other dedicated players. I'm still planning on joining in hopefully sometime soon. It's just that there's a couple of weeks left before Lord Boy goes to school, and it's the last couple of weeks of summer, and I want to be able to be there for it and have some time with the family. So it's always interesting because I would be kind of sad that I wasn't spending time with the kids when I was doing Project Millennium, but now when I'm with the kids, I'm like, oh, I wish I could be here with Project Millennium because it's so interesting, the stuff that's been going on lately. I really hope that you guys are interested in seeing where we go from here, because I am planning on taking whatever we get the end of the sessions and making an EU4 mod out of it. Probably the last couple of days before the release of Roads to Power, we will do a quick live stream where I kind of speed 5 wherever the players left off, with some minimal interference to prevent things like a Jane Timurids spawning and other things like that. So there's a lot to do still, and it's really fun. But yeah, okay, so this is the first mapping stream. I've always talked about how I use Photoshop to make my maps, but now you guys are going to actually see it in a dedicated stream and not just some sort of thing on the side here. I'm just going to turn down the music a little bit. Anyway, so what are we mapping? Well, this is a not EU4. This is a Hearts of Iron 4 mod that got abandoned. I think the main developer just didn't have the time to continue doing it. This is a project I was a part of in 2022, and I really liked the approach that they were having with the world. As you can tell, it's pretty interesting. Interesting in the sense that Germany is really ascendant. They have achieved Groß Deutschland, and there's still a Kaiserreich, and their faction encompasses, I think, all of Europe. I'll see if I can find that exact picture, because there's a version of this that is just the factions. Here it is. So I'm just going to add this in. Oh, well, I didn't mean to add it like that, but I guess I can still do that. Oh, this is good luck, so we can do opacity and go like 50%. Well, let's do I don't know how to do that. But as you can see, the factions are pretty stacked in every direction besides Japan, which is really weak. They have some China. They have like the Fengtian government, some of Mongolia, and then the League of Eight provinces here, and the international cities, which is really interesting in how this is all east. It seems like they had the socialists of America somehow reaching. You see, there's a lot of errors or just like things that aren't really that clear with the map. This is a mod that I worked on. I really want to showcase it and then maybe even revive it like we did with Caesarreich. Again, shout out to the Caesarreich developers. They're making some pretty cool stuff. Anyway, I won't be going into too much detail exactly everything that's going on here, because I do want to overlay it with the video, but something else that is worth noting is I'm only going to be focusing on the Commonwealth of America. So in the thumbnail of this video, you may have seen a completely scary, ludicrous terrifying, oh Jesus, why is that the America? I believe somebody in the Discord, I'm just opening it up right now to see exactly what the quote was. Irish lad said, North America if Russia won World War III, YouTube shorts looking ass map. Yeah, and that's fair enough, honestly. Like, it is kind of like that on first glance, but I'll be able to show you guys exactly what I was thinking, but at the same time save some intrigue for later. So here's some other maps. The developer, the main developer of this mod, he was a Malaysian who had a fascination with Germany. So of course he has the first sort of content that was being put in here was related to Malaysia. So if the Germans managed to decolonize Malaysia, it looks like this. But if the liberation people managed to succeed, it'll look like that. I mean, it's good content, but there's biases there. See, the Commonwealth of America is very big. They really succeeded in this timeline. And then here is the German Empire and the Europa Pact, I think. And I think it's like German Empire, Netherlands, Belgium, France, Great Britain, Ireland, like everywhere. Quite literally, basically everywhere besides Russia. And I think Spain isn't directly related to them. Oh, yeah, and then Ottomans. I think we can actually, let's look at this map again. Yeah, it's basically all this stuff. A very powerful Germany in this timeline. But when I was working on it, I really wanted to work on the Commonwealth of America. So I proposed something based off of the lore that they had. And the lore that they had initially established. I'll wait until the ads are actually, I'll skip the ads. I'm friendly. Look. So this is the Commonwealth of America. They had it where in order for the... Oh, what's the point of divergence? I don't know. It's like a Kaiserreich continuation mod that I'm giving my own spin on. So they have their own like chosen paths that each nation took to get there. It's more of a historical fiction at that point. But yeah, so it's just a KR inspired timeline. So what they had going on in America is the CSA does the revolt here. The Pacific states do their revolt against MacArthur, but the PSA elect farmer labor. So when the CSA beat the Federalists and the Longists and the PSA are here, Canada occupied New England, so then they're like, let's neutralize this threat by invading them. But then PSA and CSA quote-unquote combine, or unite, quote-unquote, to then expel the Canadians out. So, great. But how would this unification exactly take place? I was arguing for the fact that because farmer labor was democratically elected in a Republican federative model, the Democrats and Republicans and other capitalist parties within that revolting PSA tag wouldn't be really keen on uniting with the CSA. So I proposed that in order for the unification to actually happen, the Pacific states are like, look, let us have our own system and do a reform to get socialism from a revolution from the top down. So slowly gradually phase out capitalism so that we can be integrated into your nation. And that nation, obviously, the CSA, was a violent revolutionary a violent communist revolution, which would have tried to get rid of as many bourgeois as possible. So they aren't really compatible, but they decide, okay, you know what? Let's let the PSA join. They can reform capitalism slowly. We need to stay united because the Germans and the Japanese are both trying to kill us. So that's why we ended up there. That was what I was saying. It didn't end up being adopted, but in my video, I wanted to showcase most of my work. So now we finally get to this thing. To really put it simply, this red area is the quote-unquote central region. It's the Anglo provinces that were a part of the revolutionary movement. The English-speaking parts of Canada here are all a part. Then the PSA's autonomy is the PSA and their borders. They have British Columbia, and they... No problem. So their navy, the Pacific States Navy, is a part of the Greater American Commonwealth, but it's still under the jurisdiction of the PSA, because if the PSA just went, okay, we're revolutionary now, the Pacific Navy would just sail over to Hawaii, and Hawaii would be a Japanese sort of protectorate. So then it's like, okay, well, now we can't spread communism, syndicalism, wherever you want to call it, anywhere else. So that's not really great. So they have an autonomous region here with the native regions, or the native majority regions up here, but we'll get to that. So then the rest of the territories of the Commonwealth of America go, wait, I'm not Anglo. I need some autonomy. The Quebecois already had a hard time being French in such a dominated Canadian space. Why would they not ask for autonomy? So they get autonomy, they get their own region here. And then another thing, if they like released Quebec as an independent state, what's stopping them from being super Catholic, going integralist, and then being an ally of the Germans? And then the Germans just have a free spot to station themselves right in here. They all only need to push through the Hudson to be able to get to the Great Lakes and then Chicago. Like, for security reasons, they needed to annex Quebec, but Quebec would be insurrectionary if they didn't have autonomy, so they give Quebec autonomy. And then here we have the Black Belt Autonomous Region. This is something that Foster, a totalist in Kaiserreich and a communist in real life, wanted to enact in order to get more votes from this area and, I guess, follow Leninist models of self-determination. So again, now that they provided the PSA autonomy and they're literally capitalists, Quebec, why not the Black Belt? So the Black Belt's here. In an old version, this is like directly ripped from my proposal to them. I wasn't able to get it directly from the Photoshop file. I might try to edit it to look a little more like this. I'm not sure exactly what this, it might reference exactly the what the actual proposal for the Black Belt autonomy was, instead of just the whole states that they are combined in this scenario. So there's this. And then over here are the native territories. So Canada, historically, very terrible to the natives, especially in the northern territories. So if the CSA are supposed to be the good guys, they would liberate them from the fact that they're being oppressed. So even though the PSA, why isn't Florida included? Because, let me look up the exact photo. Self-autonomy, self-determination, the Black Belt. That was the propaganda poster, or the leaflet for the, yeah, hold on. I'm just going to copy this in here. So this is what the communists were proposing and trying to get people on board for, while they were advocating for it. So here you have everything here. So notice how Florida, there's not many in this Black Belt here. There's some here. So then they would be like trying to concentrate as many within here. That's why I have the curve here, at least in the old version. See here, it was like a eyeball of this. So we might go into detail with this. Could do that for the stream. But I was thinking about trying to get the rest of the world mapped out, because this is all I have. The only thing that wasn't a part of the CSA directly was Mexico and the East Indies Federation. And these two countries needed to be there for the thumbnail. So that's all I've really done. So yeah, for the next like 45 minutes or so before I need to get going, we will be working away at that. All right, now the moment for everyone's been waiting for. How do I even get to this point? I'm probably not going to be able to actually really talk that much to do it. It's a very much a chill thing, but right now what I'm doing is I'm selecting all the areas that I know that I want to be this inner border region color. I'm going to make sure that I'm actually selecting the central region. Use the magic wand tool, alt click, oops, I need to set this to tolerance 1 and not contiguous, so it removes all the red ones. Now I can go non-contiguous, tolerance 1, and fill it in. So now there's the internal border between Michigan and Wisconsin, I think. But yeah. It'll be a straight up the original map, or will I apply my own take? It will be my own take because the original lore had it be that, and I'm going to need to make this asset for the video, so they wanted to have it where it was just all CSA. Oh, and the people that we were expecting are here way earlier than expected. So we might need to stop it early. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I'll need to be messaging Lore Mom. I'm going to give the South Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan borders. Yeah, this is what the lore was supposed to be. They wanted it all to be controlled by the Commonwealth of America. But I thought it made sense to have administrative regions like this that are constantly struggling with the federal government, so that there's actual potential for them to collapse, because it was supposed to be a Cold War scenario and game. Like, what's the point of the game if you can't cause the your enemies to collapse somehow? Yeah, I don't want to spoil everything because I want to be able to hold on. Will there be a third American Civil War if this was a Hearts of Iron 4 mod? Yes. So, oh yeah, and welcome to my live streams. I hope you enjoy them. I was always a USSR style collapse, because Japan is a major player, and they historically, or at least commonly in Kaiserreich games, send volunteers to the PSA. They would probably be always on the side of the PSA from the beginning. So when they subsume themselves into the Commonwealth of America, Japan's like, wait, no, we wanted you to be on our side. So then they're trying to send funding to the capitalist parties. So then the capitalist parties are trying to get out of the Commonwealth. So if they ever get elected in the PSA, then they'll be like, okay, we're seceding from the Union, as is our right constitutionally. And then the central region will be like, no, invade. If they don't destroy the Pacific states fast enough, then it could be that the Black Belt goes free, it could be the Quebec goes free, it could be that the Canadian partisans or the longest rebels down here try to become independent, and then the collapse, I'll be mapping out exactly that, but I want to be able to show the rest of the world, so we're going to try to get that going. How long is it going to be? I'm not sure. We had some cleaners coming into the place to clean up the place, and they said that they'd be here in 45 minutes, but they're here now. So I'm not sure what we're doing, but I am going to do this for as long as I can, reasonably. Probably for like 45 minutes. Okay, so the world is blank. We don't know what we're doing. What's going on? I'm going to close this for a quick second while I open up my cloud documents and go back to here. So this is the color scheme that I normally use in my maps. Sometimes if the color is too ludicrously bright or something, I change it for something else. God, this is really frustrating. I want it to be right next to the actual scene I'm doing. So what I do is I go in here and I go, okay, I want France, and this France is a French state, so it's probably like a far right, but I'm gonna go with the monarchist France color because I like it. How's my day? Good, actually, very good. For reasons I cannot disclose, but you'll know probably in November. Pretty big day for the channel, so very excited. So what am I doing right now? There's a version of the QBAM that's a administrative map mode. It just shows all the administrative regions of the world currently. Maybe I could do thick, but I'm not sure. So you see here, there's certain colors. So this is a state line boundary. This is a county boundary. Depending on the tolerance of our tool here, we can either select the county, select the state. I think this is the state. Yeah. Select the state at 180, or at 220, select the country. So we have this border here now, and we can take everything that isn't this border and isn't this sea and then fill it in. And then the nuance comes when you're doing things that aren't real history. But let's do everyone's favorite, Germany. Oh yeah, wait. And then I have different eras of history that I have as QBAM so that I can select what I need to in order to make the map. That's why I've credited the QBAM list in the credits of all my videos, because this is like used from a lot of people. I'll make sure that it's in the description of this video too, so that everyone can see what's going on. I made one where Germany gets defeated by the Syndicalists and the Republican Russia made a reverse Cold War. Yeah, reverse Cold Wars are always pretty fun. What about the Native Americans? What will happen to them? They have their own autonomous republics. Yes, so that's what this is up here. When it comes to like the more prominent Native regions, like the Oklahoma Territory, I might have that be registered as separate. But in the lore of the video so far, I just say that like not only do the natives have this here, but it's a way for them to organize and make sure that everywhere else is treating the Native Americans properly. I've owned that map of the world called Kaiserkrieg, the Syndicalists and KR1 respectively, alongside Commonwealth Russia. I don't know what CAR is, but this is sort of similar, but the Kaiserreich just wins altogether. So something I do is I have all these eras of history selected, but I would only want like everything up until the German Empire shows up. And then maybe some World War II stuff. So then now I don't need to follow through so many things, but I alt-click so that I can get everything. Sometimes I can't do this 220 selection thing. I need to change it to non-contiguous. Now I can take this, find the we'll want to use German Empire. It's so lame. This is a better. I might actually change my color scheme, but so now I need to make a new layer in this folder. German. Deep South CSA War faction. The Constitutional American Republic. Yeah. Yeah, Kaiserbular, I agree. This is quite the timeline for Kaiserbus. I personally am not much of a fan. But I worked on it, and I want to tell its story. So, and we're going to constantly be using this as a reference for exactly the borders. So they have all of Greater Austria. So then we look at here. So we can do contiguous to select Trieste, Tyrol, Vienna itself. And now that's Austria there. So very big, beautiful Germany. How to get the color scheme. This is Scalagram's unexpurgated color key, also known as SUC. So you can Google that and you'll find it. This is probably an outdated version of it, but will we get another AOTR2 video soon? No, you will not. There are too many other things going on, but I do really want to make a AOTR2 video soon. I want to be able to talk about the Commonwealth of America as they have it. Hold on. I did a modern day history map where 2008 is 100 times worse economic crash and caused the global economy to collapse. Interesting. You could probably share that in the Discord. It sounds like it could be fun to look into. Poland gets a majority Polish lands as a way to keep them loyal and to stop them from switching sides. Potentially. Problem is that like, is it because I don't know. It really depends on how the lore goes. I don't know if I have the time to really go into depth about exactly what it would look like, but that's potential. Alright, so thankfully Czechia is just Czechia, so we can do this. And I'm gonna change the music because I love the new Persona 3 music. But let's go to some RuneScape. Let me see now. Alright, SUCK. Now, here's the thing: is it's always really hard finding everything. It could be. It wouldn't be Northeastern Europe, would it? Southeastern Europe. It's like. Any tips here? Anybody who uses this often enough? This might be it. Czechia there. So that's the Czechia color. So cool. And then when it comes to the internal boundaries, Germany's always a real pain in the ass, but I always use the lighter color. The sock actually tells you to do something different, but this is my own style. Hold on. Just a little crisis solutions. I'll be basically streaming until my son wakes up. Okay, so the way that QBAM works is that sometimes there's these little divots in here, so we want to not select those. So I've selected these. Now I'm going to select all the German stuff. Now I'm going to do Control-Shift-I. So now when I paint, it's everywhere but those areas. I should also select here and then Control-I. There. So now if I paint up here, I won't be interfering things. So I just need to watch out for Denmark and the Netherlands. And now I can just paint this over. That's a lot of messages. I don't think this is realistic German equivalent. Yeah, maybe not. Don't see a reason why the Poles would fight for Germany. They don't even have Lviv. Well, if in the lore they had it where Poland tries breaking free and aligning themselves with Russia, then it makes sense for Germany not to give Poland any concessions. But I don't know exactly what they had. I could probably do enough research. I do have access to this mod's internal documents, but like half of them are deleted because people wanted to save up space, and not even the subreddit is public or even live anymore. Like that was deleted too. So that a lot of the information of this timeline is dead. Hence, LoreGrave actually being a very, very good word for this series. I noticed too, this has the internal subdivisions of Prussia and other things like that, so it's a little inaccurate, but like people don't usually care in my experience of how it looks. They just like the ability to see inside the borders and then be able to think of things. So we could maybe do some edits to this, but This is how I do most of my work. And when I do get into the flow of things, it is actually quite relaxing to do. All these black things in here, mountains. Are you familiar with the mod Pax Britannica? It has super cool lore. Yeah, I actually did work on it a little bit. I wouldn't say that I was a developer there. I was more like somebody who was interested, and I tried helping out, but I just didn't end up having the time or got distracted doing something else. But yeah, I'm familiar. I think they have a really cool lore too. Shouldn't Austria be its own kingdom within the empire like Bavaria? Yeah, so you're right. It should. And these internal subdivisions imply that it's not. So we are going to remove them. So that people understand that Austria is not divided. I do know that they have a free city of Trieste. And I'm not sure there's any internal subdivisions that would show that, unless it's in administrative. I don't even remember where Trieste is. Is this Trieste? I think it's actually in one of my teasers that I've saved. Hold on. Thanks for posting that. I'll be sure to take a look. I want to just have it open. Yeah, there you go. So this is Trieste. They made it its own state, and they gave it an extra modifier here. Yeah, so because they made it a special city, I think it makes sense for us to where's the map? Hello? There. I think it makes sense. Oh yeah, it's like this little divot. Yeah, okay. So then this is the fun thing about trying to figure out exact borders. So look, I just selected the region of Italy that owns Istria, selected it, removed everything else. Now I can go select the color I want. This we have a minor problem, and I'll show you what the problem is in a second. This is an error that happens sometimes. So now that's Trieste. Okay. Alright, so the problem is that I made Germany, but if we isolate the layer, we notice that the colors aren't there. What gives? It's because I made all those edits on the Czechia layer. So not a problem. I can just select everything, delete it in the Czechia layer, and then put it back in here. But wait, I need it to be... I'll probably have to do it twice. So I've selected the internal boundaries I want to keep. Select back to Germany, fill it in, go back to Czechia, delete that stuff, select these that I want to keep, delete it, go over to Germany, get the right color, and then draw over them. There. So now we have the internal boundary there. Just need to fill it in. So now we have the Kingdom of Austria as a separate, and then we have the Free City of Trieste. Hi, Beast of Normandy, how are you? Austria is sold to the Habsburgs. Okay. Back to this. So they have an interesting Hungary that was like less Trianon. Not sure how I'll map that, but I can definitely do that Congress Poland. Well, not so much Congress Poland, but oops. Maybe that's weird. Okay, that might be better. Yeah. Besides this. Perfect. Guess that works out pretty well. Now we go. They're not in Greater Austria. They're here. I think. No, they're with Czechia up here. Right. Monarchist Poland. Makes sense. Okay. There's obviously an error here. I'm not sure exactly how to address it just yet. This is like the modern day Poland. Yeah, it's this needs to be different. We don't want to be Germany, we want to be Poland. That should be correct. Alright, and then we just keep going around. Can we use modern Ukraine borders? Yes, besides this little bell handle. And Lithuania is just completely different, so. I might even try taking the KR whatchamacallit? KR color scheme. The Ukraine color, the primary Ukraine color is so bright. I'm probably going to change the way that the colors are. But and then here obviously they don't have Bessarabia or Carpathian Ruthenia, so we can go 180 to select a internal state boundary. So Ukraine, delete, Control Shift I, and then bring the eraser down to 1. Like I've said before, I think in my lore behind the dads, using Photoshop for this stuff is very much like using a blowtorch to light a birthday cake, but it is very nice when it actually does work. Something that I've been trained to do pretty well, so I'm pretty sure this is the boundary. Okay, this is probably, I'm just gonna mark it that it's rough because I don't know what the differences between the actual outcomes of this are. Uh-oh. My son's sitting up. Yeah, hold on. I got to go. I'll be right back. Because I'm not sure if he'll actually go back to bed. I'll come back as soon as I can. Alright, I'm back. Son is sitting up in bed. I just told him to go back to nap. We're gonna see how it goes. But looking like maybe 20 minutes of the stream left. Okay, so Ukraine is rough. We don't even have Crimea in Ukraine. We should. Seems like this is different for some reason. Okay. What else do we have going on here? France, Germany annexed Luxembourg? I think Greater Luxembourg. Hold on. It's 160 for this. No? 140 or 120? Yes. Yeah, that looks roughly correct. So let's here and then okay. What else is there to do? I mean, everything really. The Netherlands, that would be easy. Let's do that. Seems like it's just our townland borders. So 220. Let's say that they get the pull there. Why not? They might not have actually been able to make the pull there, but we're gonna say that they pull the pull there. This is a good chatting time now that I don't have much else to share with my methods, so if anybody has any other questions, they can send it my way, and I'll be sure to respond. Right, this doesn't have the folder yet, so Germany did this. Do they have Belgium? Yeah, they do. Is that something that was done in World War II? They might not have it done to this extent, but we're going to have it done to that extent because it's interesting. I'll delete that though. Like, I can always get that back if I need to. Belgium. Sorry, Flanders, Wallonia. Flower. And okay. You'd think that the Germans would want to punish France more, but I think what they have going on is they managed to invite the French Republic to their faction in exchange for them trying fealty to the Mittel Europa, but this is done so long ago, I'm not sure if any of the KR additions to lore have even made it in. Let's do France next, even though that'll be a little more complicated. Monarchist, because the color's better and it suits this color scheme more. Everything looks normal besides Alsace-Lorraine and the recent change I did. didn't guess that. Well, no, it doesn't work over here. Oh, what? The chat was updating. I didn't see any of it. God damn it. Hi, Beast of Normandy, Reload Kingdom and Empire, Irish Lads Dream Map. Pressure reduced, because I need to go in and actually make it so Prussia is a United State. How about giving Hungary Northern Transylvania and Romania the rest of Transylvania? Maybe. I need to invite the AOTR NRP. Send the invite. Yeah, sure. We can try that. I think Denmark being part of the German Empire could be interesting, but no. Danish Ivory, I agree. It might be interesting, but like Germany's won. Like, they don't need to annex any more territory or anything. They can just vibe. And the less weak points that they can get, the better off they'll be. What's AOTR? Aftershocks of the Revolutions. I've made a couple of videos regarding their lore. It's good lore. You should check out those videos. So yeah, sorry everyone. I totally thought that I had a updating I totally thought I had everything going on. I could see everyone talking, but I couldn't. So this is definitely a kingdom of Italy. So we'll use this. Sometimes I just decide to add the administrative boundaries later, which I think I'll do in this case. No, we aren't going to get another AOTR video soon. It's going to be a little while. I have a secret project I'm working on. It's around 40 minutes long. I have German October that I want to release, hopefully by latest October. And then I have another very incredible thing that has just recently been solidified, happening in November. So it'll be a long time before I can show any AOTR stuff. Chat's actually showing up now, right? I'm actually seeing the up-to-date chat coming in. And then I listen to your videos every time I make a grilled cheese. I believe it's safe to say that I've never heard that before. So you might be very well the only one. Let's get a little cheeky Gibraltar. Like, Germany is good. They don't need anything else in this timeline. What's going on now? Germany transparency was listened to 10, so I wasn't showing up. And then they have the United Baltic Duchy still existing, which is very cursed. And because of its nature of being like a colony, a protectorate, we'll use a different color of the German Empire to show that. It looks like they annexed that little bit of Estonia that Russia has in KR. So let's make sure that this sub-region is listed in here. Now, I always go back and forth on how exactly I showcase territories. I think I'm going to do the lighter color in this case. No, I'll use this is the primary, this is the secondary. Okay. Just trying to think of how to even begin with Lithuania. Maybe there's... Yeah, this is a magnificent resource. In fact, we should probably even use these as the internal subdivisions of the United Baltic Duchy instead of what I currently have. I want to go back to don't, because I'm hyped. I'm a big Persona fan and recommend it to anybody interested. Oh. I'm just gonna put down some look up that. It's interesting life. Hi Zero Winter. Doing a stream and watching my son. I think I will be wrapping up in a bit. In a couple minutes. Any last minute questions before I go? I'm just gonna add Lithuania. Will the map be posted? Yes. I will potentially post this map when the video releases. But right now I'm basically making the assets for the map. Last thing I'll do... Oh, he's lying back down. Who knows what's going on. He'll be out in like 5 minutes, so I will need to leave then. But let's try to get this last adjustment here. So these are the Baltic duchies of the United Baltic Duchy. So instead of it being there, we actually want it to be these. Okay, that looks more interesting. I'll have to figure out the exact border arrangement of the colonies, but I think like even though they have it depicted where the French colonial empire falls apart, I think I want to make it big Middle Europa so that it can collapse. I guess we'll just end this video by this live stream by showing the adjustments that I think I'm going to be making to the map. I think I'm going to leave Russia blank. I think I'm going to probably end up only mapping the people that I know for a fact I want to be that way, kind of like the Caesar Reich video revealed only a couple of things. They have the revolution succeeding down here in America, but I almost want to make it be German. But then again, everything is German. I think that Japan should have a lot more of Asia. Basically all Reichspakt stuff. I know, I would need to like take another look at all the stuff that I can regarding the lore of this scenario before really making a decision. But anything I'm not sure about, I won't map. And I'll have the stuff that I know for a fact I want to have mapped. So I know that I want the Ottomans to be relevant. I know that Germany is going to remain mostly the same. This is all going to be mostly the same. I've already mapped out America, and if you want to see what my plans are for that ahead of the video, you can go to the beginning of this live stream. Please show how you make your videos in the future. I really like these kind of streams you do. You should totally do more in the future. Oh, that's really good to hear. I'm glad that you like it. I like doing this, so if there's another opportunity, I definitely will. Yeah, I think I'm going to sign off now. Glad that reception for the stream was good, and I hope that you guys are looking forward to my take on Kampf Gegen Barberai. So thanks again, and